It is 5 o'clock, and we'll begin our meeting. Let's call the meeting to order. We'll begin with the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Right. Roll call.
Yes, sir. Sandra Cavazos Ayala. Present. Roberto Ortiz.
Present.
Esmeralda Rodriguez. Present. Angelica Salinas. Present. Rosa Maria de Llano. Absent. Edelvina Perez.
Present.
Rosnio Villarreal.
Present.
Rafael Romo.
Present.
Many Pies, she already forfeited her appointed. Yeah.
She's not on the
So
board.
she's not on the advisory board for the life.
And
She
you're
will
in
for
for
absence.
the city secretary and the council person from that.
Somebody
Oh,
else.
because of the absence.
Absent. We have a quorum.
Okay. All right. Citizens' comments. There are none. Okay. All right. Minutes. We want to go ahead and read and approve the minutes for May 31st, 2023, please.
Oh, go ahead.
I move that we accept the
I
minutes.
second.
So we have motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Okay, then ayes have it. We'll accept the minutes as they are. And we'll go on to the communications and announcements.
In your packet, you have an email that was sent to me from the Texas State Library telling us that we met accreditation standards for next year. They will, yes, they will send us a letter, a formal letter telling us that.
Good.
Also, I'd like to introduce our newest librarian, librarian 2, here at the main library, Ms. Doris Gonzalez.
Hello, welcome.
Thank you so much. I'm happy to be here.
Thanks, you're welcome.
Sit under communications.
Okay. Staff reports.
At the last meeting, you requested a history of the Laredo Public Library.
Yeah.
And has her first assignment.
All right.
She did her internship, and I'm sorry I didn't tell you because it wasn't known yet. Ms. Renee LaPerry retired.
Who?
Renee LaPerry, which was our historical
She
collection.
retired.
So if
You're taking her place.
well, no, she's helping out because she did her internship
With
up there
her.
with
Oh,
Renee.
I see.
So the one who's probably most familiar with what's up there is Doris.
Okay.
So-
Doris, may I ask you a question? So if you just graduated?
Yes,
And
in May.
straight out of, and you started working here at the library, not at a public district or anything like that? that you
Yeah,
chose?
so I actually
That's
started.
wonderful.
Yeah, I love working started at the Moss Branch Library on the south side under Miss Annalisa Perez Gomez. And now here I am.
She was in Houston.
Yes,
Houston,
I was in
and she worked at the Houston. No, at the public library. She worked
Yeah.
out there.
When you got your degree in library science.
Yeah, so that one I got in May, and I started it, I think it was in 2021 while I was at Moss still with Annalisa.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
and I just graduated in May, so
Wow,
I
congratulations.
freshly graduated. Yeah, thank you so much. It's been a really good time. I
That's
love
good,
working with her.
okay.
And we're happy to have her.
I just wanted to interject that I've known Doris through Doris, her mother, because Doris still teaches at United High School. So I've heard from Doris, her wonderful daughters, and when I saw her, I said, Doris. She was just like her mother. The epitome. The epitome, because we go way back. So I'm very happy. Like,
It's so good to see you.
Thank you.
Take it away.
1937.
Yeah, we go way back.
Actually, it says here in this article, 1916.
Yes. So, I have a quick little presentation about the history of the Laredo Public Library. And let's go ahead and begin so I can tell you all when it all began. So it
Get the popcorn.
Yes,
Popcorn.
Take your popcorn and snacks. It's gonna be fun. So in the early 1900s, the Laredo Public Library actually began, led by Miss Alec McDonald at the time, and the Women's Club. And this was the first ever public library iteration that we have seen in Laredo. And again, that was in the early 1900s. So it was all started by these women who saw and understood the value and the importance of books the way we all do in this room right now. And in 1916, Mayor Robert McComb and the City Council approved housing and utilities for the library, and this library was located on top of City Hall,
Yes.
which was formerly known as Market Hall back in that day.
Right.
And that became the official library in that year. So in 1951, the public library officially becomes a City of Laredo department the way that we see it today. And it officially opened in 1952. But while they were making all these preparations to officially open the library, the librarians were still working and were still serving the community at the time.
Where? Out of what? Out of
At the Market Hall one.
at the same.
Yeah. But this was when it officially became a city department. And in 1975, that's when the Laredo Public Library began to move to the historic Bruni Plaza, where we have those beautiful arches that are still standing. And it officially opened its doors to the public in 1976. And this is one of my favorite pictures of the Bruni Library when it first opened, because we can see the circulation desk with that very unique architecture and design of the time, right?
Do you happen to have any pictures of the library at the market plaza?
Market Hall that I have seen, no, but I can go ahead and look for them and see if I can find
I
anything
would
for you.
love to
Yeah.
see pictures. I used to go there when I was little.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yes.
Well, I'd love to hear about your experiences too. So, do you have
Yes.
any
Oh, I can
comments
tell you my
and stories you
stories.
want to
Yes.
tell us? Yeah, that'd be great.
Yes.
It's a very beautiful location we have there. And so, fun fact, in 1991, we actually got our first bookmobile. So, that's really interesting. Yeah. And now we have a bigger bookmobile. That was the first one. Yeah, the Cybermobile now. That was the first one we had. So, in 1993, the Library Advisory Board asked the City Council to conduct a feasibility study in order to get a bigger library. Since the library determined you needed more space, there were so many patrons who needed a bigger location to better serve the public. So 1996 was our official groundbreaking and construction for the new public library, which we are standing on today.
I was also part of that.
Yeah, that's awesome. There's a little plaque that says City of Laredo, New Lane Library. The council members' names. And so in 1998, that was our that's a picture of Solis, yeah. The great grand opening on February 1st, 1998. And we have Janice Weber, the director, and Ms. Solis right next to her.
Who was the
smiling
director? I was
director.
Janice.
Yeah,
Yes,
Ms.
Janice
Janice.
Weber.
Mr. Jim Moreno, who was the historical librarian at the very back.
We saw him the other day.
Yeah, he's
He still comes around.
here when we had the Laredo Commission for Women in Health Fair. He came with his wife, his wife and another lady.
That was a great grand opening.
I don't remember.
And so that was my quick presentation on the history. Yeah, I'm glad you all liked it. If you have any questions, let me know. And if you have stories,
Yes, I
or
would like to see
experiences-
if, I know you did this history from the beginning to now, but I was thinking in my head that we would get more history of that era when it was back in in the early 17 or 1900s. If we could focus more,
Yeah, there
digging
should
a
be some
little bit
stuff.
more
Yeah.
on that history, because we know this part,
The
we know
current
from,
one, yeah.
all of this is not like it's our current, but I wanted to see if you can find more history of when it was over, when
Yeah.
it first started, like, you know, more deep, more specific into that history.
Yeah,
If
definitely.
possible.
Yes, I definitely can. And
What
I
do y'all-
actually
what do y'all think?
No, I agree,
Yes,
I
with the
agree.
videos.
Yeah, I think that's the
photos
kind
and
of, that's the
marketing.
history that we wanted.
You're right,
Yeah,
the ones
more
on top of the original,
Mhm.
because I'm sure there's photos somewhere.
Yes,
Yeah,
Some
there
sort of
must be.
archives
Or if not,
somewhere.
there's some articles about the
there's
early
gotta be more,
And
yes.
you have some
Yeah.
copies of some that she has been able to find.
Ooh, so the first one is actually from 1937, and this was one of the programs that they had back in the day, and it was called the Book Review Silver Tea Friday, and I think you all should have it in your packets.
Mhm.
That was one of the earliest programs that we had for the Laredo Public Library. And I did highlight the dates so you all can see them. So that one was January 21st, 1937.
Yes, but yeah, and I'm sure that there is a lot, there are more pictures and more information
There's
of this era.
There's
Yeah,
a small
definitely,
exhibit
yeah.
upstairs, with some pictures and some other articles also.
Yeah, and I can go ahead and organize a packet of the earlier times if you all like that I can share
Yeah,
with you
maybe
all.
for the August meeting,
Yeah.
because we don't have a meeting in July, right? But
No.
but in August,
Yeah,
okay.
for sure. I'd love to do that. Yeah.
Yes, more of this era.
Of the early
instead of-
1900s. Yeah, definitely.
Perfect, very nice,
Yes.
thank you.
Yes, of course. And there's also some other articles that I put in there. So we have in 52, when the first public library, when people didn't have to donate to get in anymore, it was first free to the public. There's an article about that in there. There's also the grand opening with how many people attended that event. I also included some fun programs that we had in the past. So the Dial a Story service that we had at the Rooney Public Library in the 80s. And then just finally the new library section open in the late summer, early fall, which is our library today.
Yeah, we're aware of all of this part. It's the other part, the earlier that we would be interested in. getting
Yeah,
a little more
definitely.
information.
I
Okay.
will definitely get you all something that you will surely enjoy.
Thank you.
Yeah, of course. No problem. Yes.
Also in the update, just filling you in on some of the vacancies, we're currently recruiting for librarian 3, which was Renee's position, and a librarian 2 here at the main, which is, we've designated it for the teen area, so we can have more programs for teens. We have 2 library assistant ones also here at the main, and we've conducted interviews, and we're about to make recommendations tomorrow of who to hire. And, Moss also has an opening for a library assistant one, and that one, it's been approved for posting, so I'm waiting for it to get posted, so we can start recruiting for that. In your packet, you have your checklist, that's part of the director's update.
And your fire drill, that's enough.
We're supposed to get, contacted by the fire department when they're ready to do that.
These, in here at the Joey Guerra on the first page about the PA systems and projectors, again, is that some of the same issues that we've been having?
The PA system is from before, so we're waiting for Move Texas to visit Laredo so they can come and give us a quote on the moving of the PA system. This one, we've had Public Works, our own staff look at it, and we need to replace it.
It can't be fixed.
No, it cannot be fixed.
The motor bird.
It's only 25 years old.
But,
We're gonna price them at B&H, and they're gonna range between $750 to $1,000 to replace.
oh, yes, yes, yes.
And that's just the screen itself, we're gonna have to get it installed soon.
And the PA system, I'm just thinking, do you all have already like a schedule of what's coming in the summer, the fall, or when all that has to be ready?
No, we're waiting for them, they need to make, I guess, their trip worthwhile to come down to Laredo to do it.
And this
Okay.
is only the one we use in the circulation.
Oh,
It's
okay.
not the one in
It's not the one
GDPR.
over there.
No.
And how's that one over there?
It's doing good.
It's
good.
doing all
Yeah.
Very, yes.
We're getting new microphone stands.
Okay, good. Good, yes, because, just to avoid any kind of issues, as we've kind of seen in the past.
Yeah, the last event that I was present in while we used the system was for the Laredo Commission for Women when we had the health fair. And we used the mic was working, and everything was fine. Oh, and then we had the poetry. The
Mhm.
poetry in April was also working, other than other issues that Maria already knows my concerns about the other issues
Okay.
regarding the podium, where it should have been and things like that. But as far as what I noticed in the PA system, it was working okay. Not big ones.
So there's issues with the AC at the Moss Branch?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, no.
Yikes.
We had, how many different vendors look at it, including our Public Works, and they hadn't been able to find what exactly is wrong with it. They have it working and it's at 75 degrees right now, which is better than 100 and whatever it's outside. But we did finally get Gateway, and they're just gonna flush the system and put some new Freon in there. So, they started today with one of the compressors, a smaller one, but they're gonna do the other ones throughout the week, and hopefully finish by Friday, maybe Saturday.
So only one area is at 75 and the other area is?
No, it's very.
The whole thing is
the
at
whole-
75.
mhm. Of course, the second floor where the doors open, it's a little, it's a little warmer.
So it is working then?
Yes, but it's not cooling as much as it
It
should.
should be, so it's not up to par, or
Mhm.
to the capacity. Okay.
So they're gonna try that, and we're paying for them. to
Thank
do
God
that,
it's
so-
not
Has it
competing.
impacted any of the summer programs? yet?
No. You are
Thank
still
God.
going. They complain, of course, but they're still
Sure,
going.
sure.
I still see that they have a good crowd for all.
It's probably still cooler than it is
And
sometimes.
outside, yes,
Or
yes.
some people that don't, that luxury, And the Brony, what's up, everything's working okay with this?
Yes, and they're getting people, and she's having her program, she had the Casa Reptile there, and it was a packed house. As many as we could fit in there, it's a small
Yeah,
branch, but yes, they're doing good.
that's nice.
Sorry.
Any other questions or concerns with any of the updates on the checklist? And we'll start looking at the recent and upcoming library programs and services.
That's in the flyers in the packet. Most of them are pretty much the same as the last month. There's a couple that are new, like the crochet and amigurumi. I've never heard of it, but she gives you a definition of what that is. It's 3D crochet. Yeah, I know. No, 2D crochet.
Needlework also. Wow. It's so creative. It's the same library? Needlework?
Mm-hmm.
It's
Marichana.
Right, at 10 in the morning? 10 to 11:30. Over there, like
At Moss. No, you can get Moss there. Moss is
No,
the
this
south.
is inner city.
Oh, inner city, yes,
Right?
yes.
Inner city, right? Still going to right there, but I'll be blind.
Put it on your Jeep.
Yes, that's how I did the last time.
And so this is going on till July, and then at the beginning of August, we'll have our back to school blast. All the branches will have one last week before the kids go back to school.
Won't they start early? When do they start? Remember when the kids start? Don't remind you, but I know,
Yeah.
but you would know.
I think it's around there.
Classes start the 15th.
The 15th of August?
I think it's later than last year. Last year it was earlier.
Yes.
Oh.
It was crazy last year earlier. Almost the entire month of August. But no, it'll be.
The mid-month,
The 15th, yeah.
Mhm.
but the teachers start 2 weeks before,
Oh, yes.
a week before.
Yes.
God, so it's really just June and July they have off.
Really, that's it. Yeah. Yeah, no more of that Labor Day.
3 months off. We would start September the 1st. Or
Yes.
September the 3rd.
Those are a thing of the past,
Yeah.
unfortunately.
They gone are
Depends
the
on how you
days.
look at it, right? If
Yes.
you don't have kids, if you have kids, like, oh, here we go. Okay. Any questions on any of the upcoming library program services? All right, we'll go to the monthly statistics.
There you have a copy of it. Compared to this time last year, the numbers are still increasing. People are coming back.
Okay. And we're still not the pre-COVID numbers, like let's say 2018, would that be like 2018, 19?
I wanna compare, at the end of the summer to the end of the summer 2019. We
Right.
did April, and we saw we're at like 75%. So
Right. Okay,
after the summer, we'll do another comparison.
right, that'd be something to, and maybe even look at what programs or what things have shifted, like what did COVID expose, like, okay, you know what, that's not needed anymore. And-
Yes, I mean, as you can tell, curbside is, not, but our use of electronic resources are still high. I've noticed also that actual physical audiobooks are really going down, because now you can hear them, you can download them to your phone.
Yeah.
So I think people are finally getting with the trend,
Yeah.
but we can look at that.
Yeah, do something for next time, see where we were compared to, would you say it's summer 2019?
2019, yes.
Yes, 2019.
Maybe wait, we could do the end of September, because that's our
Right.
That's why
I was
the
gonna say,
butterfly,
'cause it already
September
kicked
to
in 2020 March, that's when it all happened,
Mhm.
so. So in these vacancies that we saw in some of the other reports, I know we have a new hire here. Has it been a struggle for you to people
For libraries,
applying?
yes, but all the other positions, the ones that we currently have open, we've had like 20 applicants. We get applicants, we're getting a lot of applicants. When they become open, they either got promoted or they got another job, so.
You want more time to look at the monthly statistics, or we good? Okay, so items of discussion for possible action in next meeting.
As Ms. Cavazos mentioned, we are skipping July, we got approved to skip the July meeting. So our next meeting will be August 30th. At the same time, same day.
So, items for next meeting on August 30th. I know Mrs. Cavazos, you mentioned about
Yes, that's
getting a,
more
yes.
in-depth
More
and
in-depth.
historical report, yes, of the time when, from the first article that you mentioned here to like the 70s, like, early 70s or
Mhm.
early 70s. The rest we lived it, or we are aware of it.
We are, but I also think it's important that it be documented somewhere in some sort of, that the growth that the library has had in the last, I would say, 15 years? Correct? I mean, it's grown at least by 2-3 branches.
Oh,
Perhaps.
yes, as far as the venues and the facilities, yes,
Mhm.
exactly.
Which is, so the department, if I'm correct, 72 years old, is that how old the department is? This is, it was
Want me to do
officially.
math?
That's what I was seeing in there.
52, yes.
Yes, about 72 years old.
Yeah,
is
the
a-
conversation started last month because this one was,
Right.
this little logo was a little larger, and in the very small print, it said since 2018. Well, now you can, this one is very small,
1916.
but it was,
And that's in that article here that I
Yes.
saw.
because I remember we said we missed the 100-year anniversary.
Yeah.
Right,
Because it was,
right.
I don't remember what year it said, but it was bigger and we were able to see it.
Right.
And I think that's a good perspective to take. Thank you for bringing that
Exactly,
up. It's like in the
yes.
last 100 and some years,
Yes.
whatever that number is, whatever you
Yeah, I
find
don't
out, I'm
remember
gonna make you do math now, but
Yes, it was in one of these, you're right.
Yes.
It's not on here anymore?
It's a logo.
It's still
a
here,
logo
but
right here.
that
Oh.
last month it was larger,
It
so
was
we
large,
could
so you could see
that
the
we were
date
like,
better,
where did
yes.
that date come
that's
from?
right.
That's how it started.
Check this out, I don't have my glasses, but this one's a little bit bigger, the one with the knee, what does it say?
Oh, I know, it just says,
It's, that one, it's too small.
it's too, where are
There's
public
a
libraries?
little
It's more than just books. 19 something.
1916, it's like 1916.
Yeah, I think it's part of like, in that, like, for example, the presentation we made to the city council, right? We couldn't do any of that because we didn't have that information.
Right.
But that's something that's important
Oh,
to document.
yes,
Is for the library to see, look, it's been here more than 100 years now,
Yes.
and it continues to grow. And the return that the public gets on their dollar for every dollar of investment with us here, and how it needs to grow and how it's changed over time. Correct. So I think that kind of perspective and giving us dates of facilities that were established, a more historical context of since 1916. Right, because I mean, you read the names in there, people who were hosting something, there are schools named after them now. Mrs. Tarver, or Catherine Tarver
Right.
Elementary School, and I'm sure there's more, right? Because people often wonder, like, why is that name here? Especially now, people do forget the influences that have been through our city, right, over time, and it's reflected in the names in our buildings and stuff. So I think that's something that's important to document. We can, go back and maybe, mean, damn.
Wherever you
See
found the
where you-
name of Miss Alec McDonald, you said early
Right.
1900s, like,
Yeah.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
so that's really interesting. That one I actually found, Miss Weber made like an essay almost on the history of Laredo Public Library, and that's where I found some of those details. So I could definitely share that with you all next time. Yeah, I could get you copies of the essay that she wrote.
And maybe that's something that since this is the main library, that should be kept somewhere, like this is,
Well,
this is.
historic, all of these are historical.
But
Just
something
put
more,
it together.
in other words, something that we don't have to go digging through to find everything
That
again.
it's already
In 10
there.
years, someone asks the question again, right, but it's already there.
Yeah,
Right.
like this presentation that you gave us,
Correct.
something more
Something
concrete.
That's a good point.
like a back, something like.
Something here would be good, pictures of, like, if we do find photos of the one on the old Mercado on top of there, like, put those here.
Yeah.
That's something that is really
Yes.
significant.
Or even in that clear, that glass,
Ah, yes, it
In the
does.
beginning,
there, or whatever, some
First
display or
Right.
something.
Yeah.
And then once everything is there, maybe have something, an event where come to the library and see the historical facts that, we can, sponsored by, us, whoever, the library, committee, or I don't know, we can do something exciting to make it, celebrate the 100 years or how many number of years
Yeah,
that the
that's
library
a
has
good
been in
point.
existence.
That's a good point, because you don't realize it until it happens, but through celebrations like that, all of a sudden you do get funding. FYI, that happens. It happens a lot.
Yes, and people don't know, until you actually have these kinds of events, or, we learning, we're all continuously learning and always, this had this off record, but I didn't know that our heart has a little sac. I don't know if y'all knew, our heart has a little thin sac around it, until I found out that somebody, had that situation and they had fluid in theirs. I didn't even know that, and I just learned.
Right.
It's like incredible. I guess my point is that we're
Always.
all these things learning, just because something happened, an event, or, it was brought up, awareness, exactly. And so all of that is even more informative, and it's a feather in our caps, about if we were to do something like that.
Right, I agree. So, yeah, it's a big task, but.
Yeah. She loves that kind of stuff.
All right.
Homework.
I appreciate it.
Any other items for August meeting? Anybody wants to?
I'm just gonna mention something. Those bricks at the front, do they continue to have?
No, because we'd have to start up a campaign. If we just order a small amount, they'd be at cost. I mean, whatever they pay. So, and I don't even know if that company's still in existence, the one that did it for us.
Yes, I was a member of Friends of the Library when that first started, and we would sell the bricks for, do you remember?
It was $50.
$50. I know because I was a principal at DD, and there, we have one out there, DD at Charkis, we bought it.